This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Spoiler number one is Dr. Lee frowns.
It stinks.
What is going on? What is going on?
Episode 55. Submission number 211. Lookwell. Lookwell was an unsold pilot that aired on NBC on July 28th, 1991. What can I say about this pilot except... Greg, you're a big fan of Barry.
Yes.
Imagine Barry, but Henry Winkler is played by Adam West.
And there's no serial killer.
And there's no serial killer. In fact, quite the opposite. Adam West is a washed-up has-been. I'm sorry, he plays a washed-up has-been.
No, you're right the first time.
Well, he's a washed-up has-been who played a washed-up has-been. In fact, a quick look at the opening 10 seconds sees a poster of his show with the NBC snake logo, which, by the way, nice touch there.
Yep.
And what it looks like also is a happening late 70s, early 80s sort of Ken doll haircut.
Yeah.
So before we get too deep into the plot, which we will, let's talk about how this thing got started, because this was a show with a pedigree.
Oh, yes.
It was a show with a pedigree. It was created by two people you may have heard of, Conan O'Brien and Robert Smigel.
Wait a minute, Chico. Conan O'Brien,
yes,
is that
that Conan O'Brien.
Are you talking about the guy who played the bongos in a skit on SNL with Wayne Gretzky?
I'm talking about the guy who hosted a talk show that hosted Bart Simpson when he was the I Didn't Do It kid.
Right before the I Didn't Do It kid went on Match Game 2034 with the vivacious head of Kitty Carlisle.
Let's play the game. That Conan O'Brien. And of course, Robert Smigel, who created Previous Entry TV Funhouse.
And was on Previous Entry, the Dana Carvey show.
Yep, they all did this. So like I said, and it was produced by Lorne Michaels.
Yep.
No explanation needed.
So you have a comedy pedigree responsible for the show, and you have as the lead Adam West, who, I mean, come on. What more needs to be said about Adam West?
Adam West was the Adam West of Adam Wests.
Yes.
Probably because William Shatner wasn't available.
No, this was 1990. Yeah, he would be doing Rescue 911 for CBS.
Yes.
Yeah, he would have been on another network. But, I mean, the way I look at it, if Adam West doesn't do Lookwell, the perfect actor in place of Adam West would be William Shatner. But, yeah, he was busy doing Rescue 911.
The plot is this. Adam West is Ty Lookwell, a washed-up has-been who spends his days, A, watching old episodes of his old show, and B, teaching an acting class in Los Angeles. By the way, his show was called Bannigan, and it did look late 70s, early 80s.
Hold up, Chico. Don't you mean Brannigan?
No. Well, maybe Brannigan. Brannigan.
No, he means Bannigan. It's just there's an ongoing joke in the episode, at least 2 or 3 times, where people say, "Oh, were you Brannigan?" No, I was Bannigan.
Sort of like a Brannigan meets Banachek.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's pretty clever.
Yep. And it would sound very detective-y too, you know.
So this pilot opens up with a casting call where a guy comes in to the room where the casting call is being held, and she says to the casting agent secretary, "I'm here to audition for Happy Days, the Next Generation."
That just that just sounds all sorts of wrong right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the camera pans about 10 seconds later, and you see Adam West wearing this very Fonzie-ish wig. Absolutely
Yeah,
absurd.
it's like he has his this whole fake wig and a pompadour, and sort of like he's got a leather jacket and he's got a gut, and he's just
Yeah. Method acting there. He's into the part. I mean, if you're gonna play somebody from the 50s, you gotta be committed to your character.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're gonna play somebody like, well, that, you know?
Yep.
And not shortly thereafter, we find out that somebody's got the part.
Oh.
Aww. So what's a kid to do? I don't know.
After Lookwell does not get the audition for Happy Days, the Next Generation, he's driving around in his sweet car.
Yeah, nice convertible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he stops at the luxury car rental place.
Because it was a 2-hour rental.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a hint as to the plot of this pilot. We have a police car passing by as he's bringing the car back because a car was stolen from the rental place. And who is running the rental place?
TV veteran Bart Braverman.
Yes!
What?
Yeah, from Vegas.
Yup.
Are we talking about Match Game's own Bart Braverman?
Yes, we are talking about Match Game's own Bart Braverman.
Well, I was talking about Password Plus's Bart Braverman, and he was on Password Plus only because Alan Thicke was never on it.
So couple of cops, Bart Braverman and Lookwell. What's the story here?
Well, apparently there's been a rash of stolen cars taken from the car rental place.
That's not good.
No, so Lookwell sort of takes it upon himself. I'm going to take the lead in this. Trust me, I'm a cop. On TV.
He's not a cop. He's not a cop. He just played one on TV. Didn't even stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Oh, but if you ask him, he's a cop. Not just because he played one on TV. He has an honorary badge. He was given an honorary title back in the 70s.
That's good enough.
Yeah, so apparently if you have an honorary doctorate, you can practice medicine. Who knew?
That explains a lot these days. So Lookwell goes back into his house while his housekeeper is polishing up an old Bannigan lunchbox.
And he's eating on what looks like a popsicle, although it is clearly not a popsicle, and watching old episodes of Bannigan from NBC. Because you remember that logo.
Yeah, he's got like every episode on VHS.
And a few episodes on like reels.
Yeah. You just have like an old 35 millimeter projector somewhere.
And he's using it to screen episodes in his acting class.
Maybe it was just me, guys, but when he put one of the videotapes into the VCR, did you notice the tape didn't go fully into the VCR and it started playing?
Yes, I noticed it too. Maybe he has one of those like fancy VCRs that doesn't close all the way.
Yeah.
Or maybe his VCR is just kind of screwy.
Maybe. But we get the opening for Bannigan, and holy crap, it's an amazing opening style of a 70s show.
And Adam West certainly has the 70s hair going on in this opening.
Yeah.
We're gonna play the theme right here. That is a bop, to quote Chico.
It is indeed a bop.
So then we go to Ty Lookwell's acting workshop, which is downstairs, second door on the left, and it has a picture of his face on it.
Not unlike Henry Winkler and Barry.
Yes.
And as we go into the acting workshop, we see him screening an episode of Bannigan.
Yes, it's one of the film prints, actually, that we saw in his closet.
And then he stops the class midway and gets an idea about what happens to all those stolen cars. So here he is at the police station, tells them what he knows. They don't take him seriously, so he flashes his badge, which, by the way, is in a Perspex sort of trophy case looking thing.
Yeah, it's in like acetate or lucite. Almost like a miniature trophy of sorts.
Yeah. In fact, it says presented to Ty Lookwell, TV's Brannigan.
Bannigan.
I'm just telling you what the trophy reads.
Ha ha ha! Oh, that's definitely a Conan O'Brien, Robert Smigel thing. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't the first time we're going to see that lucite police badge pop up.
So we meet Detective Henry, who is the technical advisor on Bannigan.
Yep. And again, like Ty Lookwell, he looks like he's seen better days. I mean, he's got the furrowed brow, he's got a gut, he's in a suit now. He's gone from working these mean streets to pushing pencils.
And Lookwell is insistent that he's going to solve this case, even though he's not a cop.
Yeah.
And then we get to the first commercial. No, we're not going to talk about the commercials today. We could, but we're not.
Could, we're not, but sorry.
So once we get back from the commercial break, immediately we're in a restaurant. A lot of celebrity photos on the wall, signed photos like you'd see it in diners in New York City or Los Angeles, or maybe a dry cleaner or something like that. And we see Lookwell, and he's having a meal with some of his students, specifically some of the students that did like a recreation, did their own acting of what Lookwell was teaching in his acting class earlier in the show. And actually, if you take a look, maybe it's me, but behind Adam West's left shoulder, it looks like there's a headshot of Ty Lookwell.
Oh, that's no accident.
That's intentional.
No, I get that. It was just an observation that right behind his left shoulder is a headshot of himself as Ty Lookwell. I thought that was clever. Again, another Conan O'Brien touch.
I don't know what was more enjoyable, that or the picture of Bob Saget that was among those headshots.
So we're at the body shop now, where we see, well,
and
Lookwell looking like. What is Lookwell looking like?
He looks ridiculous.
He looks like a milkman from the 50s.
He does.
Hold on.
Then we get
that,
to the. Then we get.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Future installment TV Land's Milkman, or Nick at Night's Milkman.
The hell is Milkman?
You don't remember the Milkman?
I didn't.
In the jingles and the ads?
I didn't get TV Land at the time.
Oh, he was like their kind of mascot.
Oh.
Delivering TV goodness to your house every night.
Delivering milk and hope to a world gone sour.
Oh.
Lookwell's undercover, as we said, he looks like a milkman, really, kind of, sorta. And he's doing his undercover work at an auto painting shop.
At a body shop.
More auto painting than body shop, from what I saw. And the name of the shop is Carl Schwab's. Clearly a takeoff of Earl Scheib's. Remember those?
No.
Mhm.
Damn it, Greg, you're so young. Earl Scheib used to, say, "I'll paint any car for $19.99" or something to that extent.
I do remember that.
It was something that was around up until probably the mid to late 90s. I remember seeing an Earl Scheib shop around here. You'll just have to take our word for it, Greg.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Adam West is painting the car. He asked the proprietors of the shop if there's anything else he can do.
Giggity?
and but don't forget the head nod. The head nod.
Yeah. Any special jobs that need extra attention? Hey,
Mm-hmm.
just give him the signal.
Yeah. It's like, is he wearing a wire? I don't know. Let's beat him up. Next scene, he's in the class and he's all bandaged up and...
Wait. They're all veiled sex references that got by the censors in 1991.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the joke.
Okay, continue, Chico.
They are now back in the class, and Lookwell is working with somebody who looks like a B-level Julie Brown, the comedian, not the DJ. And I think he just got another clue inadvertently from another student. The LA Grand Prix is here Sunday.
Oh. Auto race in town.
Ooh, big auto race. Big cars. Auto racing cars. I'm gonna get something to eat!
So now we go to the LA Grand Prix, and oh my god, if you thought Lookwell looking like a milkman was ridiculous enough, the outfit he has at the LA Grand Prix.
He looks like one of the Wright brothers.
Yes!
Yeah, he looks like he's going to drive in the Indy 500 circa about 1928 with the scarf.
Did they even
The
have
scarf and the goggles.
Did they even have the Indy 500 in 1928?
Yeah, the first one I believe was 1919.
Okay.
So there you go. And he's climbing a fence now, so it's like, oh god, what's good? And ultimately, he ends up in prison, and his student is literally shoved around. Not even for sakes, he's shoved around for fun.
And he's being shoved by two really big guys.
Oh yeah. Two big men.
Big guys. He's big guys.
Yeah, moral of the story, please, at the Grand Prix, don't try trespassing by climbing the fence, especially if you're an actor in his late 50s, early 60s at this point.
Yeah. And he's flashing his badge again. In the lucite case. And this leads to several minutes of reflection. Of white-suited George Papard-looking reflection. That he looks like George Papard is Banachek, doesn't he?
Well, again, you said earlier that Bannigan is Banachek plus Brannigan, so that's possibly what they're going for here.
Possibly.
So as Lookwell is reflecting, he stops by the one place he can turn to, a statue of William Shakespeare. So as Lookwell talks about how he looks to Shakespeare for some wisdom, we get a flash cut implying that he's been talking to the Shakespeare statue for a very, very long time. Discussing discussing his particular situation.
Like, what's he gonna do? What in the world is he gonna do?
After spending some serious time with the Shakespeare statue and thinking about his next move, we see Lookwell and the Julie Brown-ish acting school character at a homeless benefit, and Lookwell goes undercover, and he masters the part. He portrays a homeless individual, complete with looking very shabby, with a bindle. He's got the bindle on the stick and all that. He's playing the part. And also at this benefit happens to be the auto rental shop owner, Alberti, who was played by Bart Braverman.
The Julie Brownish character is Miss Royster, played by Deborah Richter. So Miss Royster and Lookwell, the hobo, are being chased down by the police, and it turns out the police had a man on the inside.
Well, it goes a little bit deeper than that, because the reason the police are chasing Lookwell is because Lookwell decides to go into a car, essentially breaking into a car. He wanted to hide in Alberti's vehicle, but Alberti happened to be like on a balcony or some overlook, and he sees this happening and says, "Hey, get out of my car." And so instead of hiding in the car, they decide to take the car, and from there, the police pursuit begins.
Ooh.
And the police pursuit ends up taking them all the way to the auto repair shop. And what they happen to see at the auto repair shop is somebody who works there after hours. Why is he there when the auto rental place is closed? Yeah, after hours. Oh, yeah. He couldn't be behind all these stolen cars, could he?
Probably.
Yeah, it turns out that yes, he was.
So, quite accidentally, our man Lookwell manages to save the day. Again, quite accidentally.
Yep.
Now, and that is the story of Lookwell.
Oh, well, hold up. As Lookwell says, it's been a pleasure working with them. And if they need anything, he gives them his headshot.
Of course he does. Because, well, Ty Lookwell, he was a fake actor with a lot of headshots.
And as the credits close, we have the shot of Lookwell watching his show while eating his popsicle.
Yeah, this is the show that Brandon Tartikoff championed, but Warren Littlefield really didn't for some reason. In some ways, this show is way ahead of its time because it was filmed as a single camera at a time where single camera sitcoms were not a thing just yet. I don't recall like when it exactly became this big thing, the single camera sitcom, but this was one of the first. And not many people picked up on the idea that, hey, this could work because it's really good and really solid. But Robert Schmeigel went on to say, would viewers really want to view that every week?
Potentially. I mean, it depends how much more plot development there is beyond the pilot. I mean, it was funny, but, very, rudimentary. Could you do that for 26 episodes a year? I don't know.
It was IFC before IFC was IFC.
But also the ratings. It aired on a Sunday night. I think Adam West actually said it aired at 7 o'clock on Sunday night.
Oh,
which,
boy.
Yeah.
That is like a black mark unless your name is 60 Minutes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's just a little show called 60 Minutes there. And actually for that week, out of 92 shows, it ranked
dead last.
92nd.
2.3 million viewers, which today, if you got 2.3 million viewers in 2020, you might as well be the number one show on television.
But you're dead last in 1991, and that means you lost to all the Fox shows, and that's when Fox was really struggling to find an audience.
So, Mike, you're saying that it even lost to future installment totally hidden video.
It lost to all sorts of future entries. Every show beat it. That's how underwatched it was, as it were.
Oh my god, are you serious? But if you think that this is the end of the Lookwell story, you know where I'm going with this. It went underground. It became what we like to call found footage. So it found its way to Trio's brilliant but canceled block, and it's since become a bit of a cult classic. How one episode of one show could become a cult classic is beyond me, but here we are. Thoughts, Greg, Mike?
Well, obviously, as we mentioned, this is a show that was obviously ahead of its time, given who wrote this show and given the concept. I mean, even though it's a very different show from this, I mean, Barry is kind of like a similar plot, kind of.
Similar. Like I said, actor with sort of a dualish life. Wants to be an actor. He's a hitman. In this case, Lookwell was an acting coach who wanted to be a police officer or a detective. I'm not confusing anybody, am I?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the one thing Lookwell doesn't have going for it compared to Barry, there's no character as great as North Hollywood Hank.
This is true. Barry has a whole lot of characters and a whole lot of sketchy figures and an intertangled plot, and it is brilliant for what it is 30 years after Lookwell graced the screens. But before all of Lookwell could become a cult classic, it was a thing on TV.
Yep.
And it was a great thing on TV. Too bad nobody watched it.
Yeah.
That's not true. 2.3 million people watched it, or at least had it on in the background while they were doing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also it was beat by Totally Hidden Video that week. I rest my case.
Okay then. In that case, I'll just say you can find out more about this show and all our other past episodes at itwasathingontv.com. There you'll find more about the show, more about us, links to our social media feeds on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all the rest.
Oh, and that reminds me, talking about our Twitter feed, we had a poll that we put up last week regarding Where's Rodney?
Where's Rodney?
And yeah, in case you didn't hear that episode or you forgot, we were wondering who the Rodney is in that title, Where's Rodney is. Are we looking for Rodney Dangerfield, or are they looking for maybe, some identity or something regarding Rodney Barnes? And the final vote is in.
Drumroll, please.
So who's right? Was it me saying that Rodney Dangerfield is the Rodney in the show Where's Rodney? Or was it Rodney Barnes, Chico's answer? And 56% of people said Rodney Dangerfield.
Well, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. That's okay.
I think the masses have spoken, my friend.
Yes, and by the masses we mean about 9 or 10 people.
It was 9,
but hey,
and I was one of those 9, damn it.
Oh, I was one of the 9 too, but I won't tell you who I voted for.
But hey, thanks to those 9 or 10 people for following us on Twitter. Good looking out. Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you for the interaction. We really do appreciate it.
And I guess we'll find something to some other poll to incorporate in the near future as soon as the idea comes to us. But in the meantime, in between time, we're looking past Lookwell and looking well into the future as in the next 3 days or so, when we oh, this is just gonna be
Oh my
this
god.
is gonna be a disaster.
I apologize for this, guys. I found this pilot, and we had to bump this up onto the schedule. I'm very sorry for this.
No
You're not
regrets.
sorry at
No
all.
regrets. This is the best way to end our little streak of pilots. We'll do another one next year. Oh, we found some doozies. Oh, have we ever? But this is going to be the last pilot for this year, at least this stretch. So, but that'll be later on this weekend. Oh yeah, this next one, yeah, it's something to behold.
We've saved the best for last. And that's all we're going to say about it.
Thank you, Vanessa Williams.
Yes, best in a very ironic way. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you, Greg, and thank you, Chico. I'm Mike, and we'll be back later this week with another installment of It Was a Thing on TV.
Wow! No, I was Bannigan.